Hey, so you're trying to make a change from addiction into recovery. So we got you on your first 30 days.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
And I'm Gary. And today, the first 30 days of our addiction, well, for me, I had two first 30 days. My very first 30 days of recovery was actually in the Dirty 130, down here.
Not many people can say that they started their two, that they had, but I lost it. That they had two first 30 days.
Right. But, my first 30 days was in Troup County Jail. And I had made it a choice because I done got locked up again.
Yeah.
Because of my addiction, meth addiction, that is. I was actually sleeping 2 feet away from a whole sack. I know it was there.
In jail?
Yes, definitely. In jail.
See, I've never been, so I've never experienced that. But I know a lot of people's first 30 days, it starts in jail. A lot of people's does.
Right. A lot of people, that's that rock bottom that they hit, and but making this change, you're trying to make this change. And, they say that, in the first 30 days, you have to change your people, places, and things.
Yeah. Well, it's changed. You in jail.
Yeah, right. Just make that change now, and that's where you get that jailhouse religion.
Yeah.
Right.
Every time.
But oftentimes we'll leave that religion as we leave the jail.
Yeah.
As soon as we get back out into the world. So I'm not going to speak on, too much on my very first 30 days. But, living my first 30 days in the real world, in life, it kind of hit me a little hard.
Yeah. I know it was hard for me. I didn't really have extreme withdrawals, but I did have some, some minor withdrawals that first week. I was sleeping a lot. I was eating everything in sight. It was just, my mama was very fed up with me. Just get out the kitchen.
Eating up all the groceries.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, and for me, my first 30 days, my withdrawals happened in jail.
Yeah.
So, and what do we do? A lot of times.
That must have been hard because they don't really.
Well, you're trying to sleep your time off anyways.
Well,
that's what, they don't cut, in jail, in prison it's a little different. They cut the lights on at 4:00 in the morning, and get you up and you got to get dressed ready, fold your bed up, fold your clothes. I'm not built for jail, y'all.
Yeah. Don't do me like that.
But, so I slept through,
the majority of your withdrawals.
Majority of my withdrawals.
Yeah.
So I didn't really actually see them because, if I'd have been out in the world, and I was trying to get right, you're going to go through withdrawals no matter what, and it depends on what drug you're on, you're trying to come off of.
On how severe your withdrawals are going to be.
Right, exactly.
And sometimes, now I'll tell y'all too, sometimes if you, depending on the drugs that you do, depending on, how severe your withdrawals are, you may need to seek out a detox facility because it's the safest thing for you. To make it through those withdrawals. Because a lot of times I've heard many stories, I've read a lot of stories where I really don't want to say it because it's kind of deterring, but if you don't seek out medical attention to help your body go through those withdrawals, because withdrawals is from the drugs leaving your system at a rapid rate because you have stopped cold turkey. And if you go through a detox, then we
become dependent on
your
the
body
substance.
does, like your organs and everything. And if you just stop it immediately, sometimes your body can go into shock.
It shocks the system.
And it can be really bad. So depending on your drug use, depending on, how severe your withdrawals are, seek out a detox facility because they can help you medically deal with those withdrawals and they can guide you in your next step. For that's usually, withdrawals usually take about the first week and a half before it starts going to your emotions, which is that's a hard one. I know my emotions were all over the place. I was bursting into tears one minute and then I was laughing till I was crying the next minute.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say, my emotions are still a roller coaster, even 6 years into recovery.
Yeah.
But that first initial feeling of, my emotions, because I had numbed everything across the board.
Yep.
So, my main emotion in addiction was anger.
Yep.
Right? And so, and then, once I chased everybody away with my anger, that's when my depression would set in because, oh no, I'm so lonely. Nobody cares about me.
Nobody loves me.
Poor, pitiful me, But
not even taking into consideration that you're the one who pushed those people away that, they were trying, sometimes probably, they were probably trying to tell you what they thought was best for you because they do care about you and they do love you, but you weren't trying to hear none of that.
I wasn't trying to hear none of that. Right. And,
this ain't no place for feelings. Get your feelings out of it.
So you brought your feelings with you. I got you. But, the thing is, though, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you the first 30 days is gonna be the roughest of your recovery.
Oh man,
period.
It's so hard, and it really guides it's either the make or break point in your recovery. It really is that first 30 days because with the emotional roller coaster that you're going to be going through in about week 2, the withdrawals in week 1, that's the point where a lot of times,
site, right? You're going to be
that's
tired.
Usually the relapse point,
right?
Where people they're like, I can't do this, I can't handle it, it's just too much.
Right.
I'm going back. It's easier to go back the other way because after the emotions. You've bottled up your emotions for so long. Like I literally, a really close person to me, we watched him, go through his first 30 days. And it was, I tried really hard because it's not funny, but I tried really hard not to be humored at the fact that this boy would cry at the drop of a hat.
Are you talking about me?
He cried to Frozen, y'all. I'm not even kidding. Was bald face crying, and bless his heart. I just told him I loved him and that it was okay. But that's really how it is, though. Like the smallest thing will just make you just burst into tears. You'll just feel this overflow of emotions. But then comes,
you're gonna also have cravings too in that first week. In between the first and second week. There's going to be cravings. You're still going to crave it. But that's where you have to find out what it is that's going to ease that craving. And you have to search and talk to somebody about it. There's somebody that has actually went through it before.
Especially in that second week where all those emotions are going crazy. Get a support system, get into some kind of group, get into a Celebrate Recovery, and an NA, AA, all of them, they are super, super helpful, and reach out to family. And I know this may be the sketchy point with family because I know we burn a lot of bridges, but just try because if they see that you're trying to help yourself, a lot of times they'll be there for you.
Well, I look at it like as the burning bridges point. I've burnt my side of the bridge.
Yeah, but a lot of times their side is still
kept
intact.
safe. Right. So all you got to do is rebuild and attach back to where it was at.
Yeah, I like that. That was good.
But it's just living life.
Yeah, that's a really good because. Yeah, because you think that they don't care about you until you get into your recovery and you start realizing, they was really just trying to help me.
Well, actually, when you've made a change, they'll extend their end of the bridge back out.
Yeah. So first week withdrawals, second week emotions are all over the place. It's crazy. And another good thing to do is make day-to-day goals. That will really help you stay focused and stay focused. It keeps your eye on the ball if you do day-to-day goals, small ones, not big ones, just small ones.
But I'm gonna go ahead and tell you exactly what goals that is. And first off, it's gonna be your self-care.
Yes.
Your hygiene.
Yes.
Straight up, because you ain't cared about none of that.
Yeah. Be stinking.
Yeah, be stinking. You're going to be stage stinking. You know what I'm saying? So clean yourself up. You know what I'm saying? Get these priorities back right.
Yeah.
And this is something that you have to, that's why I say the first 30 is very, very volatile to your recovery, because this is where you have to work for your 30-day chip.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That first chip that you get, is we have a blue chip up here at Celebrate Recovery. You don't have to do anything but say, I want to make a change.
Yeah.
But for you to get that 30 days, you've got to put in this footwork.
And it's a lot of work. The first 30 days
it's a lot of work, and that's why you have to have somebody on your side.
Yeah.
You have to have a sober network.
Oh yeah.
People you can call, people you can rely on.
Well, they're the people that are really going to help guide you, because when you're first getting into recovery, you have no idea what to expect.
Right.
Everything is completely new, and everything's hitting you at one time. The withdrawals, the emotions, the mental stuff that's going on, and that starts in week 3. And that's a lot too, because a lot of times, once you get past the emotions, your emotions, they start to regulate at about the end of week 2, beginning of week 3. They start to regulate, and you start to have a little bit more control of whether or not you want to burst into tears or not.
Right. And then, as most men, it's like for me, it's around week 3 and 4, I'm like, look, I've got fines I got to pay.
Yeah.
Now I got to find me a job. On top of changing people, places, and things, I already don't know how to act because I'm trying to be a new me. And I know nothing about myself.
Yeah.
So finding out about yourself, and then, look, let me tell you, that job can wait. Your recovery has got to come first.
Yeah, you have to be selfish.
You have to be selfish in your recovery. That these priorities that you've set in place have got to come first in your recovery. And money is not a priority.
No.
For me, I actually had to give my paycheck over to somebody.
Well, and I was fixing to say money is not a priority, but a lot of times people, when they're first coming into recovery, they got to get a job because they got fines, or they're going to go right back to jail, or they've got drug court payments that they have to pay, or they're going to go right back to jail. So it's not a priority, but if that is something that you have to do, still make time for you. Find a way to balance it.
Well, like I said, I had to find a job, because I was in drug court, and I had fines I had to pay, to be a star for the week.
He's a star.
but because I staying caught up on my fines and fees. But I knew that once that money hit my pocket, I was gonna look for a sack.
Yeah.
That's because that's what I've done for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So this is all something new. So I had to have somebody help me regulate, and help me.
It was probably a good thing you had all them drug court costs, and probation costs and everything. They was saving you, honey. They was saving you.
You keep saying that. No, but it was tough. But the thing is, it's been so. But it put a little bit of discipline in me.
Yeah.
So now, I don't have to, hand my money over to somebody and watch them, regulate what I spend here and there.
Yeah.
And that's, during all this, now I have to cope with this too. Now my anger might be kicking back in because I got to have I got to have a job. Stress might be kicking back in.
Yeah, the second week, that's when a lot of those emotions start kicking in. Depression, anxiety, guilt, because you're like, man.
Now I'm starting to remember what I did to people.
Yeah, that's week 3.
Yeah, right.
All those things that you did to other people, and all the things that got done to you, past traumas and all that, they start flooding in mentally. And it's very, very overwhelming. And a lot of times, that's why we start doing drugs, is to run away from all those things and to hide from all the things that have happened. I know for me personally, it was because of my childhood traumas and, early adult traumas that really made me turn to drugs and alcohol, because I didn't want to deal with that stuff. I didn't want to face it. I didn't want to feel the pain, from those things. So I turned to drugs and alcohol, and I just drank my pain away and smoked my pain away, and I didn't have to deal with it.
Right. Well,
but
that's because you was bottling up all your emotions and not letting nothing out. Well, that's a key to, sobriety is stopping bottling up things.
You have to feel those things. You have to address those things.
And talk to somebody.
Yes. That's when your accountability partner and your support system, they really come into effect right there, because especially like I will push CR on people so much because I'm sorry, but I'm partial. I love me some CR, but they're so loving and they're so kind. And especially in small group, you can really open up about things that you don't feel comfortable opening up anywhere else, not even like at home with your family, because your family's going to judge you quicker than,
definitely, because they know
else.
any and everything,
or they'll, I've had it where, well, that's not even how it was.
Right.
You shouldn't feel that way.
Right.
You can't tell me how I should feel.
Right.
You can't dictate how that situation affected my life. It affected me. I'm sad.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna be sad. So having that sober network and that support system, it really gives you the option to open up freely without judgment and to really, I mean, I'm sorry, but a lot of people are like, I ain't going to no counselor. I ain't talking about it. That don't do nothing. It does.
It does.
It
right.
does.
You know,
talking about it really helps.
Get you a sponsor first thing.
Yeah.
You know, you get your accountability partner, but, you know, a sponsor is actually somebody who's been through the steps, worked the program, and can guide you in your journey in what level of, you know, what step you're on.
Step by step. For
step,
me, that's
one day
important.
at a time, right.
That's important. I need step-by-step instructions.
Yeah,
you know,
so
like,
now what I do now?
Yeah,
you know,
I seen
the
something
dots.
recently. It was like when I was younger, don't tell me what to do. I know how to do this. Now I need a step-by-step, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. I need all of it, like in details. Don't miss nothing. Right. But it helps like that because your mind is already going crazy. You've already got so many things going on in your mind. It really helps if you have a layout, a physical layout of what needs to be coming next or what your next step needs to be in moving forward.
And you know, that thing, we're talking about this step by step. Work one step at a time, like we were just saying. You know, it is one step at a time. It's one day at a time, and you can only worry about that one step right then.
It's a process,
or you will get overwhelmed because you've already got all these emotions coming back.
You're going to get overwhelmed anyways. I'll be honest.
And on top of this, you're still wanting to use.
Yes.
You're still having these cravings, and that's where, you know, and it's going to be a process. Nothing is going to happen overnight. But it does get better. It does get easier once you've set a plan. You and your sponsor sit down and talk about what you got going on. You make up a plan of what you're going to do, you know, for this step. And then once you finally finish that, then you can move
to
on.
The next one.
Right. So you're going to get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. You know,
that's a given.
It's a given. It's going to happen.
Because you've spent your whole life or however long, you know, you were in addiction, you spent that whole time secluded, trying to stay away from everybody, trying to hide from everybody. Even if you were around people, I don't care what you say, even if you were in a house full of people, they didn't know what was really going on.
Yeah.
They didn't know. And you would not open up to them. I mean, I know I wouldn't.
Right.
Personally, like I could be at a party, but y'all don't know nothing about me. Y'all don't know what I got going on. So when you do get into, you know, recovery, it's kind of hard to push yourself to the, to do something so new and actually open up because I'm the type, me personally, I'm not talking about myself. I'll listen to you talk about yourself, but I'm not talking about myself because I don't want you looking at me no type of way.
Yeah. So my identity I was secluded.
Yeah.
You know, so now I'm looking for the new me and I'm trying to figure out what it is I'm supposed to do and my purpose. See, in your recovery, when you come into recovery, you have no identity.
No.
Because you've done everything. I'd done everything wrong. You know, and I was doing all the wrong things for the right. You know, all the wrong things for the right reasons.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm a grown man. That was our pride. I had to set my pride aside and find out actually who I am.
Yeah.
And, you know, with me, you know, as far as, you know, I'm like you, I'm partial to Celebrate Recovery. You know, you can go through, I'm sorry, I'm going to go ahead and say it, but there's 12-step programs out there that's not going to work for you. The only reason I say this 12-step program works for you is because we send you straight to God. We send you straight to Jesus Christ, and He's the only one that can fix anything.
We got the big boss on our.
Yeah, that's right.
He's the leader here. That's the only reason it works, though. Honestly.
So, you know, finding your identity and trying to find these coping skills that's going to get you through your anger, your stress, or whatever problems you got going on. And the bottom line, like we said before, you know, the first 30 days is tough.
It's the hardest.
It's very, very tough. You're not going to be able to do it alone. You cannot do this alone. And if you have done it alone, call us, let us know about it. Tell us your story. So, you know, help us further, give us some more knowledge on it.
Yeah.
You know, comment.
It's not easy doing it alone. I did it, and I wish with everything in me that I would have had all of these tools that we're telling y'all about, because it would have made the biggest difference, because I really did. I was physically alone, and I felt mentally and emotionally alone.
Right.
I mean, it really was. It was so hard, and it was so depressing. I felt like nobody was rooting for me. You know, I was rooting for myself, and which I didn't know at the time, but God was rooting for me. You know,
Right.
I mean, he was, and which I didn't know it at the time. I see it now looking back, but then I didn't see it. And it was just, it sucked. I'm just going to be honest. It sucked
Right,
doing it all by
right.
myself. But you don't have to. There are a lot of people who love you and a lot of people who care about you. And I mean, I don't even know you, but
Right.
I'm rooting for you and
Yes,
I
I'm
care
rooting
about
for
you
you.
and I know you can do it. And this is the make or break point. This is the point where you have to make a decision. Am I going to spend the rest of my life in chaos or am I going to make a change
Right.
and be the best me that I can be?
See, I was kind of lucky, I guess, because I called drug court.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's what they did. First thing was give you a structure. And it was
Yeah.
lined out. It was laid out for me day by day. You know, what I was got to do, whether I had to take a drug test or what class I had to go to or what counselor I had to go see.
How great.
Or if I had court. I know it really was, you know, like you said, you know, it sucked at the beginning. I was like,
Yeah.
you know, how am I going to, you know, manage all of this, you know, and find a job and work, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I got to do all this during the day. Do I take a second shift job and not even sleep?
Yeah.
So now if I'm not sleeping, I'm, you know, looking for something to keep me awake.
Yep.
But I was very, very lucky because they put this strict discipline in my life and these priorities, they straightened, you know, they give me structure.
You didn't have to think about nothing.
No.
They told you everything that you were supposed to do.
Right.
Me, I wasn't smart enough to get sober by myself.
Right.
I wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many steps. There's so many things that, you know, that go into it. And I didn't know nothing about none of them.
Right.
Like, I was just winging it. I was just going. Like, and don't do it. Not recommended.
Yeah, it was a dry sober.
Yeah.
Right.
It was awful. I mean, it really was. So, dang, I wish I
Yeah,
could have
and
went
then
to drug
you know,
court.
you know, and it toward the end of the first month, you're like, okay, so now I done been told the statistics. I've been talking to people, and they done give me the statistics. I was sitting in a family treatment, not family treatment, but it was a family session where the participant of drug court brought one family member
Yeah.
to a meeting.
Yeah.
And there was a statistic that's hard to say with no teeth, but but the thing is, they said that 9 out of 10 people that was sitting in that room was going to relapse.
Oh, man.
Not just lapse, but relapse and be gone.
Yeah.
And we're over there throwing pencils and stuff. It's not going to be me. It's going to be you. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry about your luck, but I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Well, actually, my class, I can name 3 people that are still doing it. We still sober today,
Yeah,
and it's
still
been
going
over 6
strong.
years. You know, so we beat that statistic. I said it, but maybe. But you know, the thing is, though, this discouragement can try to set in. You know,
I
what
mean,
I'm saying?
that
Listening-
itself can be discouraging. You
Right,
sit in
and
a
this
room with
come
10
from-
people,
and this come from the counselor.
9 of y'all ain't gonna make it. 9 of y'all finna fail.
Right,
Like, I mean,
right,
that's
right. But then again, though, if you have that mentality of you're not going to tell me what I can't do.
true. Which
You're not
which
gonna
most
tell me what I
addicts
can't do. Right,
Most of us
right.
do.
So it's
Most
like,
of us
no.
are like, oh, okay, you say
And
I
the
can't,
thing
I'm
is,
finna do
too,
it. I'm finna show you.
The 3 that I know that are, you know, that are still making it, we linked up immediately.
Yeah.
We changed our people and places of things, and those are okay. You say you don't want to relapse again. That's who I'm hanging out with.
Yeah.
So you have to pick and choose. You're going to be who you hang around. We say that up here all the time. We're products of our own environment.
Even Pastor says it.
So first thing, you know, within that first 30 days, find you a new playground.
Yeah.
Stop sliding on them old hot slides. You know,
Take your skin off.
yeah.
What you talking
but,
about?
you know, so, you know, get you a new playground, get you some new playmates, and find out who is actually doing it and learn from them. Or, you know, talk to somebody that has done it before.
Yeah.
So whether it's the NA, AA, you know, Celebrate Recovery, or if you just want to just talk to us, you know, call us. We got we have a web page. We have numbers you can call. We have other videos. You go check us out.